And here we are. Hey,
Hello.
Michelle. So
Hi.
good to have you here today. I'm super excited about this masterclass, Balance and Brilliance, that we've been working very hard on, really.
Yes. Yes.
We've
I'm
put
very
a lot,
excited about it too.
we've put a lot of time and energy, and just as my motto is, living with intention and putting our intention on what we are wanting and bringing forward, I think, really good, juicy gems for the ladies that will be showing up for this masterclass.
Juicy gems. I like that.
Yeah, we have a lot to share. And I love how Mike Asherbrenner with the Hounds of Business brought us together.
I know.
That
Yeah.
he witnessed that within us and said, "Hey, you two ladies would be a great match." And lo and behold, here we are for this masterclass.
That it was a wonderful synchronicity and just, and all things happen for a reason. So I'm just thankful to be here with you and for all the people that are going to join us on the masterclass. It's going to be a great time of intention and attention. And yes, I'm excited about that.
Yeah, and I believe, well, I don't believe, I know, just working with you and talking about those self-sabotaging beliefs. I mean, every day we are bombarded with our own thoughts, and it stems from, you know, developed over time,
Hmm.
and how they tend to keep us small. Uh, And I love that we're going to bring forward different ways, different awarenesses for the ladies who are going to show up for this masterclass. So that way they can recognize their brilliance and really shine.
Well, yeah, and I think that so many people they don't recognize their brilliance because they see the brilliance in other people, or they compare, or they, themselves to, well, I'm not that person, or I wish I had that. I wish I was more gregarious and more tenacious. I wish I was more fit, or whatever it is that goes through your mind, and you just they minimize themselves by maximizing other people in their minds. And we've all been given wonderful traits and talents and abilities, and we don't even see it on ourselves so much. I think a lot of it, I know a lot of it has to do with, social conditioning, from cultural conditioning, from familial conditioning. And a lot of that happens early in childhood, from the age of, well, actually from the third trimester in the womb
Mhm.
up until age 7. That's when most of our subconscious beliefs are formed, and you don't even know what's going on because you're in this theta brainwave state, and you're just absorbing everything from the environment, and the way you perceive, or the way you form those thoughts, are just, you don't even realize that you're doing it. And actually, those thoughts that are formed at an early age are meant for survival. They're meant to, survive the world that you're living in. You have to conform. You have to believe, or you won't basically survive. But then, as we evolve into adulthood, or evolve into an older child, into adulthood, those beliefs no longer serve us in a lot of ways. They aren't helping us to survive, and they're definitely not helping us to thrive. And so, recognizing what those beliefs are, where they came from, and how to reframe those, and ask the question, is this really true, is
Mm.
key to discovering the self-sabotage behavior, or the limiting beliefs that are driving the self-sabotaging behavior. So
Oh, yeah, and it's amazing just being aware of these patterns that we have formed. And as you perfectly said, it's protection. It's
Mhm.
not right or wrong. It's just how we learn to cope, to, you know, at such a young age, right? We, with our caregivers, with our environment, we want to belong. We want to be loved. That's what it comes down to, is we want to feel worthy and to feel loved. And so we will do things that, we just were conditioned to do, from our
Right.
caregivers and the environment. And I love that. I love how you bring that awareness in. And I know that you're going to walk us through some great exercises, some quick yet efficient exercises to just tap into, oh, that is an awareness that I hadn't thought of before, or now I can see it in a different light. It doesn't have control over me. I can objectify it. I can see it for what it is, as a survival mechanism. And I have a choice. I have a choice to choose a
Yeah.
different behavior or a different thought with that.
Well, and also, you can, I encourage my clients to thank yourself for, for engaging in those activities that have brought you to this place. Like, thank you that this thought helped me to survive as a 10-year-old, but I appreciate how you helped me survive as a child,
Mhm.
as a 15-year-old, but that as a 20-year-old. But those thoughts no longer are serving me. So I'm going to be grateful for those reactions, those thoughts now, and I'm going to, move forward with a different frame of mind.
Mhm.
And just actually having the courage to make the change is part of it too, because it's really easy to sit back and just be who we are. And but a lot of times that creates what we call a victim mentality, and we become a victim to our circumstances. I'm too old to change, or that's just who I am. That's just my personality. Well, personality isn't permanent. You can make the conscious and conscientious choices to make change, to be who you were meant to be on this.
Mm.
You
For
For
sure. And I think a lot of people, they just tend to get stuck in those thought patterns and believing that this is my life and this is just the way it is. Although I want to bring it back to, you said something so perfectly, appreciating that part
Mhm.
that helped, right? That kept us alive, and also appreciating our bodies that we have. And this
Exactly.
is this is where I come in with this, training, is, as Michelle so perfectly you said, working from the subconscious, from those limiting beliefs that keep us small and keep us in that repetitive behavior patterns, and bringing awareness to that. And then I walk everyone through, uh, a felt sense, like feeling in our bodies, because most of the time we're out of our bodies with this thinking, with this habitual thinking, with this survival mode. It takes us out of our bodies. We're way up here.
Mhm.
And when we're in our bodies and we recognize that I don't have to hold these tensions any longer, this pressure that we put on ourselves to be a certain way, to look a certain way, to perform a certain way, all those things, we create more space. And that's through just very conscious, easy breath that I'm going to be supporting people with through this masterclass. And finding that space within, then we can breathe a little easier. The thoughts tend to settle a little lighter. It's not so hard and fast or
Mhm.
heavy, right? So we're either in the hyper, I gotta do, I'm on the hamster wheel, or we're in the hypo, the lower, the I can't get out of bed today, I can't move, there's just so much I have to do. All of that pressure in the mental affects our physicality as well. So that's where I come in with applying the tools and resources through the biodynamic breath work. That's amazing. And I'm so excited to share that those
Well, and
people.
I've experienced it with you too, and it's pretty amazing, very amazing. But a lot of people don't get that mind body connection. We live in a world where everything is so segmented off. Just using a doctor for example. If I have a cold or a virus, I'm going to go to my general practitioner. If I have a heart condition, I'm going to go to the cardiologist. If I have something wrong with my hormones, I'm going to go to the endocrinologist. But it's all connected. Everything's connected. And so many times we get caught in our head, like you just said, or and then we think that we are our thoughts, and we think that we are
Mhm.
our mind, but we're not. And so learning to take those thoughts captive and really questioning them, and then also, like you just said, see where that's falling in your body. Like, where are you feeling that in your body? That's the mind body connection. I'm super excited about the exercises that you have for us, the simple exercises that you have us do. And one of them, I'm not gonna reveal. It's a surprise. But one of them, I was like, oh my gosh, I can like, yes, I can totally feel this, and I can totally sense this right now just by thinking about it. And so just you can just see how the mind affects the body in every way.
Exactly. Exactly. And it's important to remember that our bodies are amazing containers, and it's there to protect us. Although those thoughts, if the traumas and things that we've experienced have not been able to surface, have not been able to, complete the cycle of healing, and we're not here to heal in this masterclass, we're here to bring awareness to
Hmm.
it. Although it's important to really appreciate and understand these aches and pains, this pressure in my shoulder and my lower back. When we feel so much happening in our lives, that's because the body's responding. The
Right.
body is saying, hey, I need some support here. I can only hold so much. And
Hmm.
then this is where working with the subconscious, working with the body. I mean, it makes perfect sense, a perfect blend. It's a wonderful combination.
Well, and just to kind of touch a little bit more on that, we've been conditioned to go outside of ourselves to fix our problems. And really, we have the tools within to help manage pain, to help manage our thoughts, our reactions, our, um, how we perceive things. But we have been, and there's nothing wrong with going to the doctor, having a coach. I mean, obviously that's what we do is we help people, and we coach people through these things. But at some point you realize, wow, I have more power than I'm actually giving myself credit for. It's all within us.
It is. It's so within us, and it's bringing that awareness. And that's why I'm super excited to work with you, Michelle, and bring forward your brilliance, as we are witnessing these beautiful women who are coming forward to explore with us during this Balance and Brilliance Masterclass.
Yes, yes, it will be a wonderful time to just kind of come together in a safe environment. There's no judgment, and there's we are all in different places, and that's the beauty of all this as well. And so you can learn from people who might be a little ahead of where you are in the process, and you might not even be aware that you're unaware of what is causing you your angst, and that's great. We want all the people. That's anybody who's wanting to grow and learn and transform. This is the class for you.
Oh, most definitely. And even just showing up and being curious of what can I possibly learn? What's something that I keep that's a repetitive behavior, or I have these thoughts that are keeping me small, and I'm curious of how Michelle and April can support me. Please show up. It's a complimentary masterclass. There's nothing to lose except for the BS, the belief systems that we're going to just kind of shine the light on. So that way people can be more aware of them and catch it
Right.
when it starts showing up.
Well, I think that you touched on something really important. The curiosity is just being curious about what it is that you believe you believe, and is there a different way to think? But I heard this quote by Byron Katie, and she said, "A belief is a thought. A belief is just simply a thought that you're attached to, and it's something that just goes on and on. Like we believe something because we keeps on resonating over and over in our mind, and to be curious and say, wait a second, is that really true? And I've said that earlier, but it's really important to really question every belief, because if you keep on, doing the same thing over and over, you're going to get the same result, right? So maybe it's time to question that belief or question that action. Like, where is this coming from? Like, what? Um, you know, I thought about this morning. We have this new kitten, and she's quite hilarious. Um, she's just a typical cat, but she brings us a lot of joy. And I thought about this whole curiosity thing, and one self-sabotaging thought could be maybe when you were a child, if you were asking questions or if you were curious about something, or and you're maybe what that cliche or that quote that curiosity killed the cat, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought about that. It's like, because I used to hear that all the time. We had a cat growing up, and if I was doing something that I wasn't supposed to do or asking questions or whatever. Well, curiosity killed the cat, Michelle. And so there is this idea of death associated with curiosity. Well, the only death really that goes with curiosity is death of a belief that's not serving you, or death of a thought pattern that or habits that are keeping you stuck, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, and our cat is very curious, and she's constantly knocking things over and getting into small spaces and
Oh,
um,
and isn't that symbolic in life too?
yes,
We have to be curious in order to learn, in order
right,
to grow and expand. Yeah, there might be some, things that get knocked over or toes that
right,
are stubbed or, whatever. But that's what growth is about. Growth isn't
right.
about keeping safe, like keeping in that box. Oh, I
Mhm.
can't be curious. I can't venture out, especially for women. You know,
Yes,
don't go
yes,
out after dark. You shouldn't dress that way, whatever that is. Keeping in that box. And I'm thinking of our sister Susanna Dawn as
mhm,
I'm talking about the boxes. So shout out to you, Susanna. But that keeps us small. That keeps
yes,
us in that space. But we want more, but then we're like, no. So it's like that expansion and then the shrinking.
mhm,
And that's where you feel it in the body.
exactly.
So just being aware of those thoughts and learning to shift the script with you, Michelle, and to, to just melt, right? The outer layers of tension. Then we can recognize our brilliance and really
Right.
thrive.
And you are brilliant. We all have a level of brilliance within us, and that's not egoic. It's not lacking humility. It is how we were created to be brilliant, to be, to have balance, um, to have a purpose, and whether that purpose is, I mean, for me, for 20 something years, it was being a stay-at-home mom, and I would, coach on the side. But my purpose was to make sure that my family was taken care of. Well, now I'm an empty nester, have been for a few years, but there's a new purpose that's evolving now. My old purpose, they moved. Both of them, they moved away from me. Um, and so, but that's okay. That's what that time in life was meant to be, you know. I did my job, and now it's on to other things. And so a lot of my clients, they find themselves kind of stuck in this spot, like, who am I now? My identity, what's my identity, you know? And so, that's another thing that I help my clients work through. And another thing that we will be addressing in this masterclass is like, who are you? Well, who do you want to be? You know? And why are you telling yourself you can't be that thing? Let's
Mm.
discover that.
Oh yeah, exactly. And I love how you described what you went through, right? This is why we are experts in our field, is because we've lived it. You know,
Yes.
we've been through, um, I like to call it our internal landscape. We've been in those dark, deeper crevices
Hmm.
within ourselves, and coming out of it saying, okay, well, what do I want for myself now? And that's how I started with the biodynamic breath work, actually. I
Mm.
was working with nonprofit, and I would go into the correctional facilities to offer wellness. And I would do a simple box breath, which is you breathe in for 4, you breathe out, you hold for 4, breathe out for 4,
Hmm.
you and hold. And just the looks on their faces of what just happened, like a
Yeah.
shift. Because I believe, just as you said so perfectly earlier, in the womb, at that third trimester, we are receiving those chemicals from our mother, from our
Mhm.
host, and we're ingesting everything that she's experiencing. So, there is that repetitive generational things happening
Yes.
there. So when these people in the correctional facilities experienced peace, calm, the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest, and they were, wow, what just happened? Then I thought to myself, there's something to this breath work. So that's when I researched and found the biodynamic breath work and trauma
Yeah.
release system, and started a fast track of it, because as soon as I went to the training, it's a very intensive training, by the way, I felt the relief. I felt emotional, physical, and mental release
Oh,
from
yeah.
it. And bringing this forward, just little snippets of it, right, into this masterclass, so people can experience that for themselves, to not have to feel that there's something wrong with them, or they're broken, or they have to do in order to be something. Um, Really settling into ourselves, that's where, in that calm and clarity, that's where we recognize more of our brilliance.
Yes, and you brought up another great point that touches on the whole self-sabotage thing, is that none of us are broken. We're not malfunctioning. We're not, there's nothing wrong with you. You're actually acting out perfectly. You're actually functioning perfectly. You're programmed. You're not broken. You're programmed, and there's nothing wrong with that, because all of us have some level of programming, because we all come from different, cultures, different families, different, just different religion. I mean, whatever that um, has played a role in our belief system. And there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with you. I mean, how many times I can testify this to myself, that I would react or respond a certain way, or I would feel a certain way, and I'd be like, what is wrong with me? Like, you
Mhm.
know, there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with me. But being able to tap into where that came from, and really look back on my life, and, what is it that I was told as a child? What is it that a friend told me? Or, you can probably think back and, like, what was your first memory growing up? And my first memory was of getting yelled at for coming out of my room, asking my dad what was wrong, why my mom was crying, you know? And Michelle, get back to your room. And I was like, oh, so it's not okay to have compassion. It's not okay to ask. I get in trouble for asking, what's wrong with mommy? And, my dad was just responding the way he knew how to respond because he was trying, I don't know what was going on. I think I was 4 years old. I don't know what was going on that couch and why she was so sad and why she was crying. But clearly it was something that a 4-year-old can't understand. And he was trying to protect me from that. But I didn't know that as a 4-year-old, right? He was trying to
Yep.
protect me from that sadness. So I say all this just because we think that I think we go back to ourselves and say, what's wrong with me? Or we play the victim of, well, it's their fault that I reacted that way. It's their, I wouldn't have done that if they had not done this, or, you know what I'm saying? And so recognizing that you're not a victim to your circumstances but there is a reason why you are the way you are, and it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. And as you say that, it's really about accepting ourselves for where we're at right now.
Right.
Self-acceptance. That's what leads to the appreciation. We start to trust in ourselves. We start to believe in ourselves again. And then that's when we really start to, again, appreciate. And that's the self love. So,
Right. And
they always
remember,
say,
yeah.
love yourself. And people are like, what are you talking about? I'm not in that space, or they think love needs to be something else. But it's really appreciating and accepting ourselves for
Yeah.
what we've overcome and how far we've come too.
Well, and I think that we've been taught that not to love yourself. Like that's again egoic or
Selfish.
selfish. Yeah, and it's not, because if you don't love yourself, you really can't love others well. I think you and I were talking about this the other day. Um, Whenever you think about looking in the mirror and not liking the reflection that you see in the mirror. Well, what do? Do you take a hammer to the mirror and break the mirror so you don't have to see that reflection anymore? Well, some of us do, but our outer world is really a reflection of our inner world. And
Mhm.
so rather than changing the mirror, it's really important to change yourself and change that inner world, which will be reflected into your outer world. And so I think that's one of the great things that this masterclass will help you do is start examining that inner world so your outer world will change.
Oh, for sure. And really it's about being willing to look in that mirror.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
sometimes people find that very scary to look in the mirror. And this is both symbolic and also literally looking in the mirror at
Hmm.
ourselves, because women especially have been taught or conditioned that we need to look a certain way, we need to be this way, and if we're not, then we're not worthy of love or attention. And
Exactly.
that really diminishes our light, our
Hmm.
brilliance. So this is so perfect that we're going to come together, Michelle, and offer this masterclass for women who are wanting to discover more about themselves or rekindle that spark of their
Yes.
brilliance.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that's what my website, my coaching is called Elan Vital Coaching, and so Elan Vital means vital force. It's French for vital force, and we all are born with this innate vital force. That's how it was actually. Um, it was a phrase coined by Henry Bergson, a philosopher, and but he wrote a book called Evolution. And so that vital force is the evolutionary process that every cell and organism goes through in order to become what they're meant to be, right? Well, our vital force gets quashed, um, at certain ages or certain stages of life. And because we are not evolved, a lot of us do not evolve into who we are meant to be. And so, but that vital force, that elan vital, is still within us. And so
Mhm.
it's just reigniting that and finding it, so
Yeah.
it can be reignited.
Yes, and it's all about working from the inside out for
Mhm.
sure. And I hope that whoever's listening right now or watching really appreciates that and know that we're here for you as well. So even if you unfortunately aren't able to make the master class, please reach out to Michelle or myself. And we're here for you. We want you to thrive. We want you to succeed. And that is our natural, our birthright is to
Mhm.
succeed. We're meant to evolve through life. And if, especially women, if you're not feeling that you're having that, oh, what's the word I'm looking for? Having that, it's not a drive, but that
Inner spark.
motivation. Yeah, the
Yeah,
spark, the essence. There we go. Remembering the essence of who you are and being in a safe and supported sanctuary during this masterclass or when you're either working with Michelle or myself. That is our intention, is to make sure that you feel safe and supported. So that way you are more in the parasympathetic nervous system. You are able to receive, witness that, and that's where the awareness comes in. That's where the shift starts to happen. We give you the key to unlock the door, right,
that's right.
from within.
That is
So
right. You do hold
wonderful.
the key.
Yes, everybody holds the keys, and some people have more keys than others, but use those keys, right? And so with this masterclass, we invite you to join us on
Yes.
February 2nd. It's going to be at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, or 7 Eastern Standard Time. Look that up if you are Australasia area or in the other areas of the world. We would love for you to join us. And there's just so much to explore with us. And we also have special gift offers that we're going to provide for our participants that join us for the masterclass. And you can find all that information on the Eventbrite. You'll have to register through the Eventbrite. Michelle, where can they find that?
So Eventbrite, and just look for Balance and Brilliance Masterclass, and it should pop up.
Yeah.
So
Or LinkedIn, right? Michelle and I are both on LinkedIn,
yes,
and it's posted on Facebook as well. So, and I'll also include the link in this post. So that way you can find it there easy and register for this amazing event. We're so excited to support you.
so excited.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Michelle. I look
Thank
forward to this
you.
phenomenal masterclass, and we will see you there.
Okay, bye.
Be well.